Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Martina, and here on this channel I share my passion for journaling. I make videos about junk journaling, about creative journaling, and now also about bullet journaling and planning. So a few days ago or a week ago, I shared with you a flip through of my first ever bullet journal that I started and kept in 2018, and I received a very positive feedback, and thank you so much for this. I'm very glad you liked it. It's something different from what I've been sharing here on my channel, but since you liked it, guys, I thought I could do a little bit more on my bullet journaling, because I still keep a bullet journal, and I still plan from month to month, from week to week in it. So I thought that I could share with you my planning process for the month of February. So I hope you will enjoy it. And in case you are not sure what bullet journaling is, I will link the video with my flip through in the description box below, so that you can check it out, and I also explain a little bit more about the method in this video. So for my February theme, I decided to go with all things cozy. That's what I call it. So basically, I will have blankets and warm socks and tea and pillows, and yeah, just all things cozy. And I chose a bunch of pastel markers. I have some Tombow, some Crayola super tips. I will link all the supplies that I am using below, as well as the Tombow numbers, the colors, the particular colors that I'm using, so that if you want to use the same ones, you can do it. But I didn't have like 2 or 3 colors that I wanted to go with. I just knew I wanted to go with a pastel sort of vibe. So I chose some yellows, some pinks, some blues, and some purples, all kind of muted and pastel. I think this yellow here is like my brightest color, but I still really like it. It's very warm and pretty, and I'm going to be doodling a lot in this video. And to be honest with you, making this video was a challenge for me. It was so challenging, and it was so stressful, really. And I feel, yeah, like, I admire people who do it monthly so much. I will try to do it every month, of course, but this is my first one, and let me just tell you, I was so stressed because my doodling is not perfect, my lettering is not perfect. I made some mistakes in this setup. I wasn't satisfied with, like each and every one of my spreads. But still, I don't know. I decided to go out of my comfort zone and make this video and see if you guys enjoyed it, and maybe if you'd like to plan along with me. So, like I said, this theme is going to be blankets and socks and pillows and teacups, all things cozy, basically, that I think goes well with the February, which is still a winter month. And I did not want to go with like the love theme that seems to be quite popular for February, and I love how some of the creators approach this theme, but I guess I just wanted to do something different. So on the right side, you could see me drawing this big blanket with the word February. This is my cover page for the month, and I just did this floral design that's kind of inspired by folklore art that I've seen a lot on Pinterest lately. And on the left side here, I'm just lettering a quote. I am I'm not very experienced with lettering, but one of my goals for 2020 is to go a little bit more into lettering, so I decided to give it a try. And the quote that I chose to go along with my cover page is, "Home is not a place, it's a feeling." And yeah, I just thought it was so fitting for the theme and for the general cozy Hygge vibe that I was going for in this whole setup. And just in case you are new to bullet journaling, I just wanted to mention that a bullet journal as a planner or a method of planning is definitely does not have to be artistic or doodly. You don't have to do lettering. You don't have to use any colors if you don't like to. It's actually the way Ryder Carroll, who is the creator of the method, presents it. It's actually very minimalistic, and I. I do all those doodles and colors because I like it. I spend a lot of time making this pages. I won't lie that I didn't. It did take me a lot of time, but it's kind of my self-care time. I think I like it. It's relaxing for me, just doodling in my journal, and that's why I do it, and that's why I spend time planning like this. But if you don't have time, or you don't feel like being very artistic, just you can just go with the minimalist vibe in your bullet journal, and it's still going to be great. With bullet journal, you just have to do what works for you. You do you, basically. And yeah, and that's why I think this method of planning is so great, because it's so flexible and everyone can find something in it for themselves. And here I thought that those block letters looked a little bit empty, maybe, so I decided to do some black doodles with my fine liners. I'm not going to be coloring them, but I think they added something that was missing without them. So now for the calendar page, and I usually do a 2-page calendar, so a big calendar for my monthly planning. But this month I decided to change things up a little bit, and I decided to do this small calendar, which is it's 3 dot grid spaces by 4 if you're interested. But basically it's really minimalistic in comparison to what I usually do. And of course, there's not much space for actual planning in it. But because I did not use my big calendar spread last month a lot, I decided to go with it, and I'm going to be marking those days when something happens, when I have some appointments or events, and then I'm going to be listing those days with all the details of what's going on this particular day here in this section that I called events. And I'm also doing this little key for myself, which you will see in a moment. But first, I decided to number my days, and I almost made a mistake. I thought February starts on Friday, which of course it does not. It starts on Sunday, but I use my Sakura Jelly Roll pen in white to fix this mistake, and it's all good now. February starts on Saturday. So yeah, so I'm doing my little key, and I have 3 sort of markers for my work, and then one for appointments, one for events, and one for just others. I decided to use or to fill these empty boxes with some doodles, because that's kind of also the theme of this month. I'm doing blankets and socks and all that, but they are all mostly covered with those flowery doodles, so I decided to make them as well. And on the right side here, I am doing a sort of a thoughts page, which is going to be like a brain dump and a place where I can just have a running list of tasks that I want to handle this month, but I don't like have a particular date that I need to do these things. And I just decided to decorate the page a little bit more with this little blanket doodle in the corner. Okay, so the next spread is going to be my mood tracker. And I went a little bit crazy with doodles this month on my mood tracker, but like I said, it was very relaxing. I was just sitting, watching some Netflix and doodling these cute socks and decorating them. And so I have 29 socks. Oh, and I just realized I did not number them, so I will have to do it after after this voiceover. But so I doodled 29 socks just hanging out of this like um, thread or whatever. And I decorated them, but I did not color them. And I'm going to be coloring them every day based on my mood. And I chose, I think, 7 colors for 7 different moods. And I'm going to be mixing and matching them because I find that it's not very easy for me to describe my mood on a given day in just one word. It's usually something like I feel good in the morning, but then I have a hard day, but then I'm productive, but then I'm tired. There's a lot going on in one day. So this way I will kind of be able to represent more moods on a given day than just one. So yeah, so I'm just kind of alternating between patterns, and these doodles are really simple and nothing complicated. I'm just doing some flowers, I'm just doing some lines, some pompons on some of those socks that just look cute, I think. And yeah, and I actually am excited about this spread, and I can't wait to see how it will look all colored in at the end of the month. I always like to have my mood tracker on a adjacent page to my habit tracker because I like to see how they correlate with each other. I like to, when I have a day when I did not do any of my habits, then I can just check what mood I was in. But also, I keep the mood tracker page for the creative part of it, really, because I like doodling and I like practicing my doodles, and on my mood tracker I actually have the opportunity to do this. And so on the right hand side I have my habits tracker, and for this month I'm tracking habits such as journal, creativity, social media, vitamins, cleaning, and skincare. Oh, and home cooked. I'm trying to cook more at home instead of eating out. And with my creativity habit, because of course a lot of my work in my Etsy shop with my journals and such is creative. I'm not going to be tracking this, but I want to track sort of creativity that is just for me, you know, that is just like my personal time, my self-care, my personal development, something that I don't do for my shop, for my business, something that I can just, you know, sit down at my desk and be creative for a little bit in the evening or something like that. So I'd like to do something for at least 10 or 15 minutes each day. That would be great, because I actually have a lot creative goals for 2020, like learning more about watercolor, hand lettering, gouache painting. Yeah, so I need to make time for this during my days. And of course, I'm decorating the page with another little doodle. This one is a teacup, and it's actually a cute teacup. I wish I had one like this. If you've been with me on this channel for a while, you probably know I really, really like everything flowers, and so yeah, I would really love a teacup set like this. The next spread that I'm going to do is actually very simple, and it's my gratitude spread, or what I like to think of it, simple pleasures spread. This is where I'm going to go every day to just jot down or doodle or hand letter something that made me happy this day, or something that made me smile, or something that made, you know, like a bad day a little bit better. Those aren't usually, you know, very grand things. No, these are usually very simple things, like a sunny morning, or a almond coffee, something like that, or a day with my puppy. Those are just things that made a day a little bit better, and I like to do it every evening, because I when I have a hard day, it's actually so difficult to remember anything positive. But then when I sit and I actually spend a little bit of time just trying to remember the positive things that happened on this day, and every day there is something, even the smallest things, then, you know, I get this feeling that this day wasn't that bad at all. And maybe it was difficult, but some good actually happened, and I, I I think I'm calmer, and I go to bed feeling a little bit better about the day. So again, I'm decorating it with a little doodle. It's a house this time. And for all of my doodles, or most of them, I'm going to go back to them at the end of this video, as you will see, and decorate them a little bit more with a white pen. So the next spread here is my YouTube and Instagram planner and tracker spread. And this is the first time that I'm doing it this way. I'm actually experimenting a little bit with YouTube and Instagram planners. I didn't used to do them in the past, but this year I'm actually focusing a lot on growing my Instagram and growing my YouTube channel. So I'm experimenting with different layouts, and this month I'm going to try a classic calendar layout with large boxes. These are, I think, 6x6 dot grid spaces where I can plan my content and plan anything really that I have to do to be able to post a photo, or post or upload a video. And yeah, I will see during the month how this works for me, how this layout works for me. And also, I guess, because I decided to do it in this form of a big calendar, that's probably why I decided to to do my monthly planning spreads, the smaller calendar layout, because I just did not want to draw out those two big calendars. I don't know, I want to change things up. I want to keep things interesting in my bullet journal. Okay, so the last spread that I'm actually going to be using for the month of February is my finances, and it's a very, very simple spread. I have 3 columns, one for the description, one for my income, and one for the amount that I spend. And because my earnings are not very regular because of my Etsy shop and some other things, I like to keep track of them, and I also like to keep track of any sort of additional spendings that I may have during the month. So, like I don't write down rent, for example, because it's something I know I do every month. But for example, if I buy myself a new book or a new paper pad or anything like that, then I'm going to write it down here. So the right side is again going to be a quote, and I chose a very simple one, and it says warm tea, good books, soft pillows, fine company. And that's sort of my vibe for February, I guess. I want to focus on simple pleasures. I want to focus on making my apartment a cozy place that I like to come back to. I want to focus a little bit on self-care, because this is something I neglected over the past months. And I want to just, I don't know, I want to be inspired. So I'm just, of course, again decorating it with my little doodles. I have a book with some flower illustrations in it, a pillow with some pompons, and a heart for the company and for the month of love, I guess. Now, like I said, I'm using my white paint pen. This is a Posca paint pen, and I'm adding some dots. Not sure how well you can see it on camera, but I definitely see the difference, you know, with just a little bit of white dots here and there. It just makes the drawings look a little bit more finished. So yeah, and now it's the time for the final flip through. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Like I said, it was a bit of stepping out of my comfort zone. I feel very insecure about my lettering and about my doodling. It's not something I feel comfortable with, but nevertheless, I hope that you liked it. I hope that you got some inspiration. I hope that if you don't have a bullet journal yet, I hope that maybe it inspired you to actually start one for yourself. And yeah, let me know in the comments, please, if you liked it, what you thought about this video and about my theme, and if you would like to see more videos like this for me, because I would love to make them actually. I love to challenge myself, and I don't know, I just love to doodle in my journal, and I love making spreads in my bullet journal, so I can just film the process and it's not a problem. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye bye!